Hello, favorite students. This is Mr. Lerma. Uh, on this project, we're gonna take you back a little bit to the basics of how we start the projects. It seems like maybe some of you guys were going too fast or getting confused with the hemp project and the heart project. So I want to take you back to a project that's a little bit more simpler and easier to work with, that avoids the line design. So pretty much just take your pen and cut your paper. It doesn't have to be or make a box. And what I'm going to do, just pretty much divide the paper in fours, just making the lines. And it doesn't matter how you do that. You're pretty much just making shapes and following them through any way that you like. It doesn't really matter what direction they are, your choice. But you want to try to connect them as best as you can. And what I'm doing, just following the lines all the way around. And I want to show you this project because I think that the hand project and the heart project, for some reason with the curved lines, it confused a lot of students. Normally I get the majority of the students get the project, but for some reason those two projects with the curved lines tend to or confuse a lot of students. So I thought I'd kind of take the time, instead of just going back to our straight line projects, and continue working it. So what I'm doing is just following that line pretty much from this point, making almost like a triangle, and I'm just continuing all the way around. Nothing fancy, no different than the other projects. Remember, we're just repeating the same line over and over again. I did have students who were interested in doing their own projects. That's fine. Thank you for those students that sent me those emails. Thank you to those students who also have taken this extra step and began using colors. I like that. You're taking the initiative and thinking outside the box, using your imagination with the projects, which is good. And continuing down. All right, so now from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just follow the lines straight across. So pretty much we're just following the lines. And I'm noticing that straight line projects seem to be a lot easier for a lot of students, which is good. But I noticed that ever since I introduced the curved lines, it has thrown a little monkey wrench in the program. Students were a little bit confused with the lines coming to one point and then curving the line. So I thought I'd just take this time and bring you guys back to straight line projects. And again, I'm just making parallel lines next to the other line. Try to make them as close as you can. That seems to work the best. And again, these projects, we're working with line control, line direction, line balance. All of those combined build motor skill development. And even for myself, the straight line projects, they seem to relax me a little bit more than the last project we did, lesson 19. But I'm glad we tried it out. There's a number of you that got the project really well, but there was a large number that I had a hard time with the concept of the curved line. We're very close, but I feel that maybe I just didn't explain myself to where the lesson was explained correctly. But also you have to remember, you can stop the project, rewind the video, replay it again multiple times. I do the same thing. I'll play a video multiple times if I don't understand something. And I'm keeping the lines balanced, keeping my distance, and I'm going to rotate the paper now. Give me a little bit more leeway. Some students have started using rulers, which is good. I like that. I normally, like I said, introduce you to the basics of a project, and I try to leave it up to you to be creative. The part about art is that I'm giving you ideas for a project. I don't want to tell you what to think or what to create, but I'm only merely giving you an introduction of a project design, and it's up to you to take that project further if you want. If you want to add colors, if you want to change the design, it's up to you. The best thing for me is to introduce you to the projects and let your creativity come alive. Make your own decisions. I think that's the best part about being in school. Being in a public school, we teach students to think for themselves, to make a decision, to be creative, to take the initiative, and to think on your own. Okay, we'll try that again. There is no greater feeling when you come up with your own ideas, your own thoughts. So it's very important when it comes to art, or when I teach you art lessons, that everything that I teach you is to allow your mind to be creative, to allow you to think for yourselves. Don't let somebody else think for you. Okay? For example, I noticed that students have phones, and when they want an answer, they ask Google, what's the weather going to be like today? Google, what is this answer? And that's okay. I mean, even I do it myself. But there has to be a balance of when you need an answer and when you have to think on your own. So keep that in mind. Let me take this one off the back. All right, so we continue on. Now, a lot of times when we're drawing, in, if I remember, a lot of students will tell me, well, I don't know what to draw. And what do I normally say? Well, think of something. And then what do some students tell me? Well, what would you like me to draw? And what do I say? You can draw whatever you like, because my job is to teach you to think for yourself on your own, with the least amount of influence from me as an art teacher. I can give you suggestions for ideas and projects, but it's up to you to come up with your own designs, own ideas. And that's the important part of teaching art, I think, for me. And again, a lot of these projects, these are students that come up with their own ideas, or ideas that they've seen someplace, then they share them with me. So I'm not creating anything that's original. I'm merely just showing you projects that other fellow students have created in the classroom. Sometimes by mistake, sometimes by thinking about it. But the important part, whether it was a mistake project or an idea project, sometimes mistakes come out to be pretty good ideas. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. And again, line project, line design, line balance, line direction. we are building motor skill development. And I'll say it again, I know there's been students who are asking, well, why do I have to do art, Mr. Alarma? What's the purpose of it? Why do I have to keep on making these projects? Well, like I said, I'm not trying to make you an artist, but I am trying to give you an experience of learning art, mainly to relax, learn your abilities of being an artist within your own right, but most importantly, give you a time to decompress and relax. The more creative you are, the more I feel that allows you to be successful. We are all creative in many different ways. You just have to find what way are you creative and what way you can be successful at. You gotta find the best thing that interests you. For myself, it's art. Okay, so we're getting close. And if you notice, now that I have new Sharpies, my lines are a lot stronger, a lot bolder, a lot sharper. All right, we're getting close. Not bad, I like it. Now, I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer here. Because this way you can get a better impact of the project. If you notice, I'm not creating anything fancy. It's just, again, simple lines being created. And again, if you want to come up with your own design, upload it, and I can give you credit for it if you want to try the project. But do not do what a student did. They just took a picture of a table and submitted it as their project. That's not going to work. Or they took a picture of a bowl. That's not going to work. Unless you explain why you took that picture. If you mentioned, oh, Mr. I took this picture because it has balance, line, color, perspective, texture, then I will give you credit because you took the time to research your ideas. All right, we're getting very close. All right, so there's your project. I hope you like it. Oh yes, what do I say? What's the last thing we gotta put? Our signature. There we go. I hope you like the project. This is Sulema. Have a good day.